This could be the decision that saves the global economy or pushes the world right back into war. Right now, over 850 ships are trapped at sea. More than 20,000 sailors are stuck, waiting, watching, hoping for a way out. And suddenly, Donald Trump has made a bold announcement. The United States will step in to guide these ships to safety. But just as that hope appears, the warning comes from Iran. If the U.S. crosses the line, the ceasefire is over. Good evening, I'm James Morello, and this is NPM News. Tonight, we are looking at a situation so tense, so fragile, that one wrong move could shake the entire world. Because at the center of all of this is one narrow strip of water, the Strait of Hormuz, one of the most important routes on the planet. This is not just a regional issue. Nearly a fifth of the world's oil passes through this single passage. Every day, billions of dollars worth of energy flows through it, and right now it's effectively blocked. After the conflict earlier this year between the United States, Israel, and Iran, both sides moved quickly to apply pressure. Iran imposed a blockade in the strait. The U.S. responded with restrictions of its own. And just like that, ships that entered the Gulf could no longer leave. Now imagine being out there. Massive tankers filled with oil, cargo ships loaded with goods, crews stuck on board for weeks, unable to move forward, unable to turn back. The world continues, but they are frozen in place. As the days passed, the pressure grew. Oil prices surged past $120 a barrel. Markets began to react. Governments started to worry. And behind closed doors, negotiations quietly began. Then came the sudden shift. Donald Trump announced what he calls Project Freedom, a plan to guide ships safely out of the Gulf. Not a full military escort, not a direct confrontation, but a coordinated effort to help vessels navigate out of danger. He described it as a humanitarian mission, a move meant to protect lives and restore global stability. And even more surprising, he claimed that discussions with Iran are very positive. For a brief moment, it felt like the crisis might finally be moving toward resolution. But that moment didn't last, because almost immediately, Iran responded with a strong warning. Any attempt by the United States to interfere in the Strait of Hormuz, they said, would be seen as a violation of the ceasefire. In other words, what the U.S. sees as help, Iran could see as provocation. And that's where the tension begins to rise again, because even Trump's own message carries two sides. On one hand, he speaks of peace, cooperation, and safe passage. On the other, he makes it clear, if this mission is interfered with in any way, the United States will respond forcefully. So now the world is left in a dangerous position, a rescue mission that could be seen as an act of peace, or the first step toward renewed conflict. Behind the scenes, the situation becomes even more complicated. Iran has already submitted a 14-point peace proposal. Reports suggest it includes reopening the strait, easing tensions, and ending hostilities within a short period of time. It sounds like progress, but there's a major problem. The United States is still pushing for limits on Iran's nuclear program. Iran, however, says those discussions are not part of the current deal. So while both sides are talking, they are not truly aligned. And while diplomacy continues, the military prepares. The United States has now deployed 3 aircraft carriers to the region. That is the highest level of military presence seen in years. Warships, aircraft, and thousands of troops are positioned, ready for anything. Israel is watching closely, preparing for possible retaliation if tensions explode again. Intelligence reports are already suggesting that another round of conflict is not just possible, but increasingly likely. So even as leaders speak about peace, they are quietly preparing for war. And then comes the part that affects everyone watching this right now. This is not just about politics. It's not just about the Middle East. This is about the global economy. China, one of the largest buyers of oil from Iran, is watching carefully. Europe is paying close attention. Markets are reacting in real time. If the Strait of Hormuz remains blocked, or if fighting begins again, the consequences could be massive. Fuel prices could rise even higher. Businesses could slow down. Economies could feel the pressure almost instantly. And all of it depends on what happens next. So now, everything hangs in the balance. A fragile ceasefire that could break at any moment. A rescue mission that could either succeed or trigger something far worse. Talks that sound promising, but remain uncertain. Trump says the United States will guide ships to safety. Iran says do not interfere. And caught in the middle are thousands of sailors, hundreds of ships, and a global economy waiting for answers. The question now is no longer just about ships or politics. The real question is this: are we watching the beginning of peace, or are we standing at the edge of another war? I'm James Morello, and this is NPM News.